Welcome back to the corner, aka Dub's Corner, the only corner where we are slinging statistics and knowledge and not dope and pussy. So, we're gonna get right into it. We're just gonna go in order actually. This Texas-Ohio State game, number 1 versus number 3. Ohio State came away with it 14-7. I think both quarterbacks, they're both super young. Both had their first, complete, this is your team start. Arch looked like shit. It looked like trash, especially in the first half. His first throw was 5 yards in front of his receiver that if he hit on a stride, maybe he gets another 10, 15 yards. Who knows what happens on the drive. I mean, that's to open the game. I do think that Arch is going to have a better year. Better than saying. I think he'll get it together. We need to get that throwing mechanic in order. I have no idea what Manning family he came from, but that throwing mechanic, all of that is fucked. I mean, he looks like he can't use his shoulder. He looked good on his feet as normal, but I just don't. Ohio State defense is top fucking tier though. Secondary especially looked phenomenal. So you got to take that into account. It's week 1. I mean, it is all across the league. You could tell that it was week 1. So it's not really much you can say about either one of them until we see some more competition. But I mean, that's about as competitive as it gets. And I would say both quarterbacks looked like trash. So I think if they played again, Texas would get it. Once again, just Arch got to get his shit together, We'll move on to this Penn State, number 2 Penn State versus Nevada. I have more to say about this game than I probably do any other non-conference ranked versus unranked game. There's a lot of eyes waiting to see what Drew Aller does this year. A, without having Tyler Warren, but B, just another year under his belt, staying for senior year. He's had a couple of chances. So, with that being said, I don't think he's gonna have to do much. Both those running backs looked great. Singleton looked great. I want to see what they do against some better competition, specifically in the Big Ten. You got Ohio State, Michigan, USC. You got to play all these teams. They did come away 46-11, but the defense looked really good. In the first half, they definitely kept them in order. But this Nevada team, this is why I stuck around in this game more than I did any other not important game. But Brock Purdy's brother plays for the University of Nevada, and he is a quarterback, and this boy is a dog, man. He is so tough. He's putting his head out there. You got to think he's doing a lot of this against the legitimate number 2 defense in the nation. Week 1, I mean, I'm not saying he's going to the league or anything, but he did just about as good as you can against the number 2 defense in the nation to open the year. So, we are going to move on to this Clemson-LSU game. Now, this was my most anticipated matchup this week. I didn't know if LSU, it really just came down to whose quarterback was going to show up. That's what I thought it would be. Now, what it ended up being was whose running game was going to get going. And Clemson got exposed. I mean, they're just absolutely no run game. At first glance, you think, okay, here we go again, Cade Klubnik not getting it done. But I don't care what team you play for. You're not getting any type of offense going, not running the ball. You're not going to throw the ball without a run game. You're not going to run the ball without a pass game. So, both the teams looked really sloppy. First of all, LSU came away 17-10 with a win, but first half had 2 fumbles, one on the first possession, had a drive going, absolute momentum killer. On top of, they had a fumble in the last 30 seconds of the first half inside the 25-yard line. So, I mean, all you got to do is center it up, kick a field goal. You're going into the half with the lead. Instead, they fumble the ball. Clemson goes down. I believe gets a field goal before half. Maybe doesn't, but they just didn't look good. Did not look good. Caden Durham, LSU running back. I mean, he can't be any more than 5'11". He's so short. He's stocky. The boy played his heart out. He got a couple more touches than he did in the earlier parts of last year, towards the end of the year last year. I think they kind of gave him the reins this year. I think every team in the nation pretty much is running 2 running backs right now. So you can't really say he's the guy anymore. But Klubnik, I wasn't impressed with what he did when he did get the ball off. So I'm interested to see what they do when they do have a run game going, if they do ever get a run game going. You know, Clemson touched the transfer portal for the first time this year. I don't think they got double-digit players out of it, but I mean, it's a start, you know. Compared to teams like North Carolina with 70 new transfers. I mean, that is insane. I don't think that's as big as Colorado's numbers were in Deion's first game, but LSU just so sloppy. They could have opened this game up. They had an interception late in the game. This game should not. This game could have easily been 24-10. I mean, this could have been a blowout. But LSU just not getting it done. Garrett Nussmeier had probably one of the quietest 4,000-yard seasons last year. I didn't even realize that until I was looking at stats. So, I mean, a lot of hype around him. He's supposed to be a top 5 quarterback. Both these guys were supposed to be top 5 quarterback draft picks in the NFL this coming draft. So, I'm interested to see what the rest of their year goes with the ACC not being very competitive, to be honest with you, and LSU having to play some tough SEC opponents. So we'll move on. The dogs. Georgia versus Marshall. The Dogs, immediate impact from the transfers. Dwight Phillips Jr. But Zachariah Branch was a problem this entire game. The entire game. Started off with a little screen pass. Got his little happy feet going. I mean, he got an extra 10 yards by tap dancing in a circle. I mean, it was one of the most fun things I've seen watching the Dogs play football in a while. So to start the game off, that was fun to see. Defensive leaders. Some of these guys have been sitting back. We've been waiting on them to come up, and they showed up automatically. I mean, just made a difference immediately. KJ Bolden, Damian Harris, CJ Allen, all those guys have been waiting behind some of these guys that just got drafted or some of these guys that transferred and are getting their chance. And KJ Bolden and CJ Allen, I am extremely excited to see what they do this year, given our secondary has a lot of hype this year, so I'm excited to see what all of them do. But KJ Bolden especially, because he's stuck through. He could have transferred out 2 years in a row now, and has stuck through it, waited on it. So, Gunnar Stockton, 4 touchdowns, almost 200 yards. I think 195 yards passing. Had another 70 on the ground. 4 touchdowns total. He's not running like that in these conference games. It's just not happening. I'm interested to see what the offense is going to look like, because Kirby's always hiding something. You know, there's no way he's putting all the cards on the table against fucking Marshall week 1 when we've got Texas, Bama, Tennessee, Florida way later in the season. So we got Austin Peay coming up this next week. Another game that will probably iron out some kinks. But we did good. I don't think we had a but 2 flags in the first half. So Dogs looked. It was the most all-around game I've seen from the University of Georgia in 3 years. Honestly. Next, we're gonna move on to this Notre Dame Miami game. Notre Dame went on down there to Miami and lost 27-24. Now that score is a lie. That score will lie to you if you're just going off finals. They had come back from down 14, I believe, in the fourth quarter, and Notre Dame early fumble inside their own 25 set Miami up early, quick, but Miami came away with no points on a botched hold for a field goal. So, like I said, there's so much. It's definitely week 1 in college football. Now, Miami, new transfer quarterback, Carson Beck. He gets so much shit, and I definitely have given him some shit, but the University of Georgia led the nation in drops last year. Through the first 6 games, I think he had 8 or 9 interceptions, and you could go back and look, 4 or 5 of his first 8 or 9 interceptions were tip balls. But either way, that messes with your mental. So he's just definitely down. With that being said, these wide receivers for Miami showed out. One kid had the one-arm catch, but Malachi Toney, freshman for Miami, looked like a serious game wrecker. He looked about 6'1", 6'2", but he's about 195, 200 pounds. I mean, he's a solid boy. Jump out of the gym. I liked him. He's one of those guys when you watch a game, he's just always involved. He's always got something going on. So I like to see stuff like that out of freshmen, especially. There was only 1 sack in this game through the first 3 quarters. So both offensive lines did their job. Absolutely did their job. But C.J. Carr, tough. I mean, 221 yards, 19 for 30, 3 touchdowns, one of those is a rushing touchdown. He had an interception, which was just a very non-timely interception late in the game. But Miami looked good. Notre Dame also looked good late in the game, coming back. They definitely put some offense together, but there was just nothing going on that would make you think Notre Dame would have any other outcome if they played this game over. I wouldn't put it all on week 1. I think they have some stuff to figure out, replacing so many people. Number 7, Oregon. Some of these games from here out we're gonna speed through just because these were cupcake games. Some of these teams just didn't. We're just waiting to see what they do against better competition. They were definitely putting on some shows today, though. We had a lot of high scores. Oregon played Montana State 59-13. Oregon wins. As usual, Oregon is small but fast. They had 2 block punts. Their 2 running backs, super small, super quick, as always. But they're so small and quick that it's fun to watch. I was mesmerized by the Maurice Jones-Drew-sized running backs that they have back there. They're at 2 different sizes, 2 different body types too. They have a freshman tight end, Kenyon Sadiq. Now, I'm going to tell you, keep your eye on this kid. This kid's going to be a problem in the future. He was all over the field blocking for receivers and running backs on the outside. About 6'3", 210, 220, nothing. He's not Darnell Washington, but for an 18-year-old, and him being as quick as I saw he was, definitely going to be some special things coming from that kid. We're going to move on to this Alabama game, boy. Alabama went on down there to Florida State and got that ass whooped. Got that ass whooped. But it ain't all on Alabama. They looked like trash. They just weren't giving a shit. They weren't. But Tommy Castellanos was running all over these boys, giving them fits. I have not seen a quarterback this quick since quick. I don't mean fast running, just quick, getting through holes. Speed demon since Lamar. I mean, he's just that good. Gets low to the ground and just kind of weaves his way through traffic. All of a sudden, he's got an extra 7 or 8. I mean, that is special to see out of a quarterback. Especially, it's so good to see for Florida State because they've had so many black men. I can't think of any other, but they've had so many quarterbacks that were supposed to be special. Jordan Travis, I mean, he was good. He was special. Just got hurt the absolute worst time. 2 running backs for Florida State are, I mean, units, dude. Units, like 220 plus. Big boys. DeBoer, 4th loss against an unranked team in 13 games. What was it? I think it was 124, maybe 121 games. That's how long it took Nick Saban to lose 4 unranked games. I mean, on top of, so Alabama's quarterback looks good. He did not lose them this game. I mean, there was a lot of questions coming in because he was on the roster last year. Why didn't he play if he's ready this year? Looked good, Ty Simpson, but just don't have any type of weapons. Ryan Williams didn't really get involved much. Mekhi Dancy, Florida State's wide receiver. I mean, the kid's like 6'4", all legs, holds the Florida State 400-meter record for sprinters. I mean, the kid is fast, so they on top have him out there at wide receiver, running him on end arounds, running him on screens. The kid was just galloping like a deer, like a gazelle running around out there. 2 different times broke off 25, 30-yard runs on an end around that just flipped the game. I mean, what do you do about it, you know? Arizona State. I don't really have much to say about this game. Arizona played North Arizona, came away 38-19 with the win. Their receivers look super tall. That's what I will say. These Arizona State receivers were 6'3", 6'4" plus on the outsides, and then have these short little sly guys, little speed demons. I mean, it's interesting. I just don't. Your quarterback Levitt looked good. He just made a couple of these dumb throws that some ended up in picks, some didn't, but they just didn't. These are not top 12, college football playoff decisions here that at least I saw out of them. Number 12, Illinois played Western Illinois. Luke Altmaier looked sharp. They didn't really. He's super accurate. I'm interested to see what he does against better competition as well. Luke I can't remember. I want to say he came from Penn State. Illinois has 3 or 4 different running backs for different situations. I've seen at most 3. That third guy isn't. He's kind of a third down guy. Don't really see him much, but I mean, all 4 of these guys were involved in big plays in this game for them. This receiver, Beatty, is a legit weapon on offense and special teams. Took a punt to the crib. Had another one of those guys that on offense, he's just always involved. You're always seeing his name, always hearing his name. He's always got something to do with the play. So, I mean, we love that. We love it. There's still definitely some questions on defense for Illinois, though. this Western Illinois defense was moving the ball way too easy in the middle of the field. I think red zone defense they did well, but against a better competition team, I think they're pushing the ball in there. So, next we got this Carolina Virginia Tech game, and this game in the first half, week one woes, just jitters, especially in the first quarter for South Carolina. There were a couple of times they could have come away with some points, but fumbled the ball. They had a special teams touchdown. Harbor had a late touchdown in the game to seal it. I mean, they went into halftime 10-8, but it didn't feel like a 10-8 game. It felt like Carolina had this game in the bag. It was just a matter of time until they opened it up here. The first drive, they looked good. Sellers looked good on his feet, even late in the fourth quarter. Ice in the game, just looked so quick. He looks bigger. I mean, they definitely put at least 10, 15 pounds of muscle on him. So I'm excited to see what they do once they start SEC play. They'll have another game before SEC play, I believe. So it's going to be interesting to see what they do. Michigan and New Mexico State only won 34-17. So not really handling them at all. BAMA transfer Justice Haynes got dogged this New Mexico Lobos team. 3 rushing touchdowns in the game, 2 in the first quarter. First 2 drives, immediate. Welcome, I'm here. I am here in Ann Arbor. So I'm definitely worried. On top of this Michigan quarterback, I'm very excited to see what Bryce Underwood does against some better competition. I mean, he has such a great arm. He's pretty quick, but you could tell it was his first game Saturday that he was not ready. He was ready. Let me not say he was not ready. He looked like some of those throws he still was not loose enough and comfortable enough back there, but that'll come in just getting some games under his belt. So I'm not too worried about that. He's got such great arm strength and accuracy. Normally you see a Lamar throwing some of these balls 65 yards down the field, and these receivers are diving all over the place trying to catch it. So you can't say that's accurate, But, I mean, he's putting them on a dime. Especially late in the game, you could tell he got a little bit more comfortable. And but they're going to have a test next week. Actually, they're going to Norman, playing Oklahoma. So we're going to see a very good test for Michigan next week. Florida, another game. They played Long Island. They won 55-0. Lagway. They have the hardest schedule in the nation, so goes without saying. I don't really want to say much about Florida until we see them play some of these more competitive teams, but this is about as easy as it's going to get for Florida. Defense looked really good, came away with 2 fumble recoveries, 1 for a touchdown to start the game. Lagway, I got some accuracy questions for him, just not on a dime. He's got such a good arm, but this defense really kept him up early so that we really didn't have a point of him not having some insurance behind him. That's pretty much all I got to say about Florida. SMU, number 16, played East Tennessee A&M and won 42-13. This wide receiver core is another one that looked tall and quick. Has absolute problems. This SMU quarterback is another one just like who was it? Oh, not Illinois. One of them we just spoke about. Just some dumb throws. Just not having his shit together. Just ruining drives, trying to chance stuff, take risks when you don't need to, especially against a team like East Texas A&M. So, SMU has a transfer named Chris Johnson Jr. Yes, that is Chris Johnson's son. And he looked, I'm not even going to disrespect him. He looked super fast, super quick. Some of these cuts just absolutely leaving people with no cartilage in their knees. Just looked phenomenal. The defense, SMU's defense looks so small. I have so many questions for them when it comes to them playing this ACC schedule, but the ACC just looks so thin. I don't see anybody who's playing with Clemson and SMU again this year. So, next we got K-State and North Dakota. Should have been an easy game. K-State coming off the opening game in Ireland, in Dublin, against Iowa State. Just could not stop the run. Absolutely no answer for the run. Avery Johnson, super accurate, but he was running for his life the entire game. Some of these accurate throws you're seeing him do on the run is because his line got blown up in the first 2 seconds of him snapping the ball. He doesn't even have time to get shit off, to go through his reads, so he's just rolling. North Dakota quarterback, Kaminsky, looked good. I mean, I think he gets into the right system. He could be a good scout quarterback. The boy was big. He was making some great throws there. I don't know how much eligibility he has, but he's definitely a guy that could transfer to a Power 4 school and definitely make a difference somewhere. He made a couple of good throws. His size is good. He's tough. Kansas State only comes away with the win 38-35 here after losing last week to Iowa State in Dublin. So definitely got a lot of questions for K-State here. And they haven't even started conference play yet. So they could definitely, some people are writing them off. They could definitely turn it around if they get that offense, especially that defense, that run defense figured out. Oklahoma, number 18, Oklahoma played Illinois State. John Mateer, super accurate and efficient. 19-10 to start the game. 140 to start the game, too, in the first 2 drives. So, boy looked good. Had the most yards, I want to say, out of any Power 4 quarterback this week with 395 and 3 touchdowns. He looked very good. Oklahoma's offense altogether as a whole looked good. They looked very sizable. They looked like they're definitely adjusting to being in the SEC. I need to see them play a team worth something, not Illinois State. So, excited to see what they do next week against Michigan, but they're going to be at home, so they'll definitely have fans behind them. I think it'll make it a little bit easier. I don't know who I'm taking in that game, but next we got Texas A&M and the University of Texas San Antonio. A&M came away with the win 42-24. Special teams touchdown to start the year for A&M. A&M receivers look super athletic, which is good for Marcel Reed. I think him getting hurt last year definitely put a damper on their season, which him coming back, running backs look good. They had an issue stopping the run up the middle themselves, though. And playing in the SEC, that's not going to happen. That letting 24 points up to UTSA is not what you want to do. I'm going to move on to number 20, Indiana versus Old Dominion. Indiana ran their damn mouth last year about, we would love to play. We'd love to see you guys come over here to Bloomingdale, Bloomberg, whatever it is, and play us, blah, blah, blah. I'd love to have an SEC schedule, 3 non-conference games a year, but they legitimately had the easiest schedule out of any top 25 team all year last year. They only beat Old Dominion 27-14 this week. They really had some issues. All offensive line blown up, low quality opponent blowing your line up. Does not look good when you're playing in a league with Ohio State, Michigan, USC, Penn State, so not a promising look for Indiana. They couldn't stop the run in the second half. Got ran all over. Something like 150 yards on the ground in the second half for Old Dominion. Let's move on to this Ole Miss Georgia State game. A Georgia State player snatched a chain from an Ole Miss player before the game, so Ole Miss decided to put foot on neck, belt to ass. They come away with the win, 63-7. Austin Simmons looks super good. A left-handed quarterback for LSU. He got hurt last year. He's coming back, having a good year this year. I don't have too much to say about them. Iowa State played South Dakota, comes away with a win 55-7. These Rocco Becht, they're coming off a win in Dublin against K-State. It looked very good. They have Rocco Becht, quarterback. Loved their tight ends this week. Both their top two tight ends made big plays in the red zone, or at least to put them in the red zone. And they've got humongous receivers. One super tall, the other one is just a bear. He's a massive man. So this Iowa State offense is one to watch, especially. Rocco Becht having all those weapons like that is a definite problem. They had a return man, Flora. They said he stepped out. They said he called fair catch, blah, blah, blah. Ran the punt back for a touchdown, called it back. I think it was a flag. So they go down and end up having to punt anyways again. Boy takes it 50 yards back down. Almost takes it back to the house. So, I mean, that was definitely a fun thing to watch. That was a fun game to watch. Iowa State's offense, they've got some fun things going on over there. Texas Tech played Arkansas Pine Bluff. Now, Texas Tech they have been given so much booster money in the last year, this offseason. I don't want to put my foot in my mouth, but I want to say it's upwards of $7 million, honestly, in this offseason alone from boosters and alumni. With that being said, their offensive line and defensive line look phenomenal. Look huge. They look so big. Baron Morton and this receiver, Carter Jr., are going to be two of the most fun duos to watch in the league this year, in the nation. Just every time they connected, it was something fun. It was something big. They look good. Morton is as proficient as it gets. 7 straight completed passes at one point. He injured his throwing shoulder and didn't play in the second half, though. That was one that I'll have to keep an eye on and check. I didn't see anything this morning when I looked in on it. But with that being said, they were up 35-7 at the point. They might have just taken him out and let him sit the game out. I mean, they came away 67-7 with the win, so don't really need him much, obviously. Number 24, Tennessee and Syracuse. Tennessee came away 45-26, but boy, did they look sloppy. Their running back, Star Thomas, looked quick, fast, strong. I think without Star Thomas, this Tennessee-Syracuse game would have been a whole lot more interesting in the second half. They definitely struggled They looked really good in the first half, though. That's the problem. Tennessee's defense in the second half just got lazy, lackadaisical, just letting things go right by him. And Syracuse is not the team to do that. It's the team that, like Vanderbilt, every year surprises somebody in the ACC when they want to come up there to New York and think shit sweet. But Tennessee gets it done. Keep an eye on Star Thomas for sure. And then the last game of the week is number 25 Boise State versus South Florida, USF. No Genty, no offense. This team, Boise State, looked like shit. They had more yards of offense, though, than USF. But they fumbled 3 times, 2 of them on the wrong side of the field, just leaving them with great field position. I mean, it's hard to have over 320 yards of offense and only score 7 points. Like, that is actually impressive in and of itself, and for the wrong reasons. Possession time. They had the ball 2 times as long as the University of South Florida. They just every bit of this game, and this was a Thursday game, I believe, maybe even a Friday game. It was one of two games on. Everybody's watching. They had 5.2 yards per catch compared to USF's 10.2. They're moving the ball, just moving the ball like a fucking snail, not doing anything with it, and then turning it over when they got inside the 45-yard line. Just not what you want to do. So, with that being said, that's all we got for this week's college football wrap-up. I think we're going to just do college football for the next few weeks until the end of MLB season, and then we'll do one big playoff outlook for baseball, and then I'll do a podcast every week for baseball for playoffs and stuff, and then we'll just move it right on into NFL college football. I mean, this is the time. This is the time we've been waiting on. So, welcome to the corner, baby. Doses.